Konbanwa, minasan. Good evening, everyone. 本日また基本的な漢字を説明させていたします。また本日また基本的な漢字を皆さんに説明させていたします。じゃあ始めましょうか。So for today, minasan, everyone, for today, once again we will be discussing another fundamental or basic level kanji. So remember in our lesson 005, we have discussed the kanji ichi, meaning number 1, and the ni or futari, ni daini, ni meaning 2, second cardinal number 2 or order number 2, futari 2, futsuka. But today, again, another members of the kanji in the set 1 of our elementary grade 1. Again, the basic kanji. In this kind of set, in this kind of elementary level, you will notice that we have been discussing elementary level kanji used in counting, just like in lesson 005. I have discussed to you the ichi and the ni, which refers to 1 and 2 respectively. But in this lesson 007, I will be discussing to you again another fundamental kanji, JLPT N5, the san and the yon, san or mitsu, and the shi, yon or yotsu, meaning 3 and 4 respectively. So for this lesson 007, let's start with the san or 3. So let's begin with the strokes order. Please don't disregard the correct way of doing strokes. It's sujun stroke order. 徹底的な筆順を説明させていたします。じゃあ始めましょうか、皆さん。So let's start. So this is the kanji for 3. As you can see, it's just it's quite self-explanatory. You can see 3 lines, 3 horizontal lines. This is 3. So this is 3. Again, the stroke order for 3, just 3 strokes for the 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 horizontal strokes. It's 3. So as I have discussed in the previous lesson, in our previous basic kanji lesson, the first thing you have to know in the kanji is the stroke order, and then second, the onyomi and the kunyomi. As I have said a while ago, in our previous lesson, the onyomi refers to that kind of reading very closely related to the original Chinese pronunciation or Chinese sounds, and the kunyomi is the kunyomi reading or the native Japanese reading for a particular kanji. So I have indicated that in the ichi and the ni. So how about the number 3, the san? So what are the onyomi and kunyomi for the san? So let's disregard the irregular or the archaic irregular readings. So basically for this character san or 3, the onyomi, or you will notice that the onyomi for the san is also the proper pronunciation for the Chinese reading or Mandarin reading for 3. It's san. So it's san, very simple, san. And as I've said in previous lessons, when you are to indicate the onyomi, it's usually indicated with the use of katakana characters. And conversely, if you want to indicate a kunyomi reading, you don't use katakana characters, but rather you should be using the kunyomi. For the kunyomi, you should be using the hiragana. So what are the hiragana or kunyomi readings for the three san? So that's mi. Mi is most likely used for name, because in Japan most of the names are written in kanji. So it's a fact. I must say almost 98 to 99% of the names in Japan are written in kanji, so you really have to learn the kanji. So mi, that's the first kunyomi, and mitsu Mitsu is the second kunyomi, Mitsu, and the third is a little bit the difficult way of pronouncing Mitsu. Remember, if you have a doubler, I have discussed the doubler, the two. There's a two in between the two and the mi. So what's the effect of the doubler? It doubles the consonant doubler. It doubles the consonant of the consonant of the reading of that sound right next to it. So the two, it is composed of TSU. So what happens to the letter T? The letter T in the two is doubled. So the second reading is Mitsu, but I want you to emphasize the Mitsu. Please emphasize the letter T, Mitsu. So the Mitsu, no stress in T, is written as mi and su, but Mitsu is written as with mi and then small chu and then the two. So in Romaji, or Roman way of equivalency in Japanese reading, the Romaji for the Mitsu is MITTSU. So if you don't have the consonant doubler or the small chu, you would have write that in the form of MITSU, but with the presence of consonant doubler, it is now MITTSU. So remember, I have lessons. I have discussed those consonant doublers. It's not only the two. Sometimes it's the chi. Sometimes it's the ku. Just like in gakko, school, gaku plus ko, gakko. Remember, notice I put some stress in the K, gakko. So it's two characters, gaku and ko. Gaku meaning learning, ko is the institution for learning, gakko school. So in this case, mitsu. So that's three. So for our vocabulary, haven't I discussed in the previous lesson that these characters originate in the China? Of course, in China you have more than 30,000 characters, but in Japan, the Chinese characters is narrowed down into just 5,700 characters, and among those 5,700 characters, the Joyo kanji, or the most commonly used kanji, is only 2,135. So you need not memorize those 5,000 kanji. I suggest that you have to only memorize almost 2,200 to properly read a newspaper, or properly read a manual, or any television, any news program. So there's a way for memorizing the kanji. As I have told you last time, another way of memorizing the kanji is through the use of radicals or components. So the mitsu, the only component here is the horizontal line. So it's just three horizontal lines. It's very self-explanatory. So please screenshot this original meaning. The original meaning, as I've discussed in lesson 005, the original meaning is that meaning of a kanji character when it was created during the Han Dynasty in China, Eastern Han Dynasty in China, and even in Shang Dynasty. That's the original meaning. And then what's the modern meaning? The modern basic meaning is that basic meaning when that adopted Chinese character was used in Japan, or first used in Japan. So that's the basic modern meaning, or the meaning that is prevalent in mainland Japan nowadays. Okay. Why am I discussing this? Because there will be some instances that the basic modern, or the modern Japanese meaning of a character is somewhat deviating from the original intention of the Chinese reading or Chinese meaning of that particular Chinese character. Remember, I've told you last time that these kanji characters are actually the Kangxi and Hanzi Chinese characters. It was adopted in Japan during the 28 AD of a certain emperor. So, san or mitsu, it's a way of counting. Say sanfun 3 minutes, sanbyaku 300, sanju 30, and that's the cardinal way of counting. Let's say you want to quantify some things, but we all know that other than the cardinal way of counting, there's an ordinal way. So that's when mitsu comes into usage, when you're dealing with ordinal counting and not just cardinal counting. Cardinal counting is most likely used in scalar quantities and in vector quantities, or you want to quantify some things, but the ordinal number is usually for orders or sequence. So the basic counting is ich ni san shi go roku nana hachi kyuju, or 1 to 10. But there's an ordinal way of counting 1 to 10 other than ich ni san shi go roku nana hachi kyuju. In the ordinal way of counting, it's now hitotsu, futatsu, mitsu, yotsu, itsutsu, mutsu, nanatsu, yotsu, notsu, kokonotsu, to. So, well, how did I arrive with that kind of ordinal counting? Well, the answer is the kunyomi. You must know the kunyomi. Just like in this one, san, we have seen a while ago that the kunyomi for the san is mitsu and mitsu. So see, when I'm in this kind of kunyomi, the mitsu is now 3. I want you to screenshot this vocabulary. You know, in learning Japanese, I strongly suggest that you expand your vocabulary. That's one of the way to learn. You have even me. Every day I browse notes on vocabulary. You have to be immersed. You have to be immersed of ominous amount of vocabulary. So you have to flood yourself with this vocabulary. It's a necessary thing when you want to learn Japanese. You really have to delve in this vocabulary. So please screenshot this vocabulary. Please screenshot this vocabulary. Okay. So, did I mention to you a while ago that the kanji characters in Japan is 99% of the time being used to write names and to indicate names. So, in this kind of lesson for the kanji, at the latter part, I'll be showing to you some of the example names for the san and mitsu. Okay. So, but before that, let's go to some expressions first. Just like this one. Mada mika arimasu. We still have 3 days. Mika, 3 days. Mika, 3 days. Mada mika arimasu. So we still have 3 days. So alleyway 3 days. So 3 days is mika. So you see how mi is being used here. The ka is an alternative way of producing the sound for nichi or day. So mi plus ka, mika. Mika is 3 days. So we still have 3 days. Mada mika nga arimasu. Mada mika arimasu. Okay, so kohi mitsu Okay. I want you to look at this sentence. Kohi mitsu ga mitsu onegaishimasu. Kohi mitsu onegaishimasu. So you often hear this kind of expression. Mitsu onegaishimasu. Usually in restaurants, a certain staff wants to request another staff, usually a cook, to prepare. Onegaishimasu means the wish or the request is to be done, to be granted. Kohi mitsu onegaishimasu means kohi mitsu onegaishimasu means please bring me coffee for 3 people. Kohi mitsu onegaishimasu. Okay, so we go now to names. Please take note of the hiragana in a smaller font. Please take note of the hiragana written below the kanji. It is some of those example names that is depicted on the combination of kanji. Just like in this one, Miura. Miura is mi plus ura. Mi plus ura is Miura. Or Santaku, or Misato, Misato-san, Misato. It's mi plus Sato, Misato. Okay, so please screenshot also these example names. So I'm telling you, you have to be familiar with this kind of names. There are only about 230 to 240 surnames existing in Japan, so not that much. So you really have to memorize it. Sometimes there's a bonus when a certain Japanese want to express his or her name, and she prefers or he prefers writing it in kana writing. But I would say 99% of the time in Japan, people write their names in kanji. So really have to delve into this one. So that's for mi or san, or meaning 3, ordinal number 3, cardinal number 3. So let's go now to the next kanji sequence. Kanji sequence number 4 for our elementary grade Kihonteki na kanji, basic level kanji, Kihonteki na kanji, JLPTN 5 kanji. Okay, so let's go to the next level, sequence 4. Or rather, let's go to the next sequence, sequence 4. The shi. So what are the strokes order? Hitsujun. Hitsujun wo kansatsu shite kudasai. Please observe carefully. Minasan, hitsujun wo kansatsu shite kudasai. Please observe the proper way of making the strokes order. So this is the shi. In Chinese, this is shi. I have mentioned that the onyomi is closely related to the original Chinese sound. So the shi in Chinese, shi in Mandarin is surprisingly the shi in Nihongo, the shi in Japanese. So this is shi. So how many strokes do you see? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, 5 strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is shi. Onyomi is shi. And what are the kunyomi? What are the kunyomi for this, or the native Japanese reading for this kanji? There are 4 kunyomi. There are 4 kunyomi for this kanji. It's yo. Example, yojigen, 4-dimensional, yojigen. Yotsu meaning the 4th, yotsu, or yotsu. Again, may I emphasize the letter T? There's a consonant doubler, the small chu, the small chu functioning as a consonant doubler for the chu, making it not just the ordinary yotsu, but yotsu, and the yon. Just like yondaime. Ever familiar with that term? Yondaime Hokage. the fourth Hokage, yon daime, Hokage. Daime meaning a sequence or revered sequence. Daime, san daime, yon daime, go daime. So here in this four sequence for kanji, for yon daime, yon, yotsu, yon. So in days, what would it be? Yoka. In days, so nichi, kanji for days, nichi, or the other way of expressing the reading for the day, nichi, is also ka. So yotsu plus ka, again the consonant doubler, not just an ordinary ka but yoka. So that's yoka, 4 days, or in 4 days, or the 4th day of a month. Let's say March 4, so that's Sangatsu yoka. So March is Sangatsu, and the 4th day of March, Sangatsu yoka. So please screenshot this onyomi and kunyomi. So what again is the English meaning? This is 4. Ini is 4. Meaning ini is 4. So if there's anyone here who want to know how did this character arrive at, well, this is the early scripts during the Shang Dynasty in China many BCs ago. It started from the Shang Dynasty and then all the way to the Han Dynasty. The Han Dynasty is the finalizing dynasty. The Shang Dynasty is the early scripts to which this Hanzi and Kanji characters originated. Well, originally in China. So this is usually there are graphics, drawings. So what again is the character meaning is that meaning of the kanji to which it is created for. The component meaning is that meaning of that kanji character when it is functioning as a component, when it is functioning as a radical or a component. So for this character, we only have character meaning. Original meaning is to exhale. Well, there's a story. There's a story to it. Well, how the hell did that happen? Okay. The original meaning is to exhale. But remember, in Japan, they just borrowed these Chinese characters. And what we are focusing right now is the basic modern day meaning in Japan. But these characters are created during the Han Dynasty in China. So there must be some changes. And the fact is, some of the Chinese characters are being corrupted to form the Japanese intentions, Japanese meanings, and Japanese usage. Okay. So for the on reading is shi, just like in Chinese, shi. So April, so that's the 4th among the 12 months. April is the 4th among the 12 months, so that is shi. The months is getsu or getsu. So shi plus gats, shigatsu. Say April 4 is shigatsu yoka, April 4, or April 20, shigatsu hatsuka, or April 1, Fool's Day, April 1, shigatsu chitatsu. So please screenshot these other onyomi readings, and also please screenshot. You may see, as I already told you in the previous lesson 005, that when you're dealing with kunyomi, or the native Japanese reading of a kanji, unlike the onyomi, there's no separators in the onyomi. In the kunyomi, there are separators. In some textbooks, they use the hyphen. And in some references, they use the dot. I want you to get used on either of these separators. Me, myself, I personally prefer the hyphen as a separator, but please bear with this reference. He used the dot as a separator. please do not disregard. Please include this in also one of the things to memorize. So where is that part of kunyomi does these separators lie? So I want you also to memorize the location within a kunyomi, the location of the separator. So it's very important, because later on, what's the function of that separators? Later on you have to omit the right part and then replace it by a process we call as conjugation. Because in Japan, the process of conjugation is a very essential process when you're dealing with Japanese language, Japanese grammar, and derivation of Japanese vocabulary. So conjugation is really a daily essential part in learning Japanese. So please do not disregard these separators. So because the right part in that separator, the right portion is usually omitted and replaced by another hiragana when you're doing a process of conjugation. Okay, so please memorize it also. Please screenshot these kunyomi readings and these other kunyomi vocabularies. Just like me, I also flood myself with numerous vocabularies. Please memorize these vocabularies. Shikaku, meaning 4 angles, or quadrangle, or a quadrilateral with 4 angles. Shikaku. Shiki means 4 seasons. Shiki, and then 4th day. Yoka. Remember that one of the kunyomi is yotsu, so it has a su. So I have discussed that the presence of su, the effect on that next kanji, it becomes a consonant doubler. So if you have a consonant doubler, so what happens? The first consonant of the right portion of the right part of the kanji, that consonant is doubled. So what's the effect when you pronounce it? There's an emphasis, there's a stress, there's an emphasis. So the yotsu plus ka, it's not yotsu ka. You silent the tsu, and in exchange you press you put some emphasis. You put some emphasis on the first letter of the ka. So that's k. So that's double k. So that's yo plus ka, yotsu. So you omit the tsu, but the tsu is functioning as a consonant doubler. So yo plus ka, yoka. Notice that I place some stress on the ka, yoka. So that's 4th day. So that's the effect of tsu. That's the repercussion of placing a tsu on the left part of an adjacent kanji. Okay. So again, we jump up. We're running out of time. So in the interest of time, I want to first screenshot these vocabularies. Okay. In the interest of time, let's see some common expressions. On all fours, yotsunbai, or 4 times yonbai. 4 times yonbai. Yotsunbai on all fours. Or let's see this expression. It's been 4 days. Yokaburi desu. In Japanese, when you say buri, say a certain phrase with buri means something like it's been a while. Yoka buri desu, or it's been 4 days. Yoka buri desu. So in the interest of time, we will jump up to the name usage. Okay, because we need this name usage so that you'll be able to read the names of Japanese. Just like this, shion, the shi plus on, shion. Shikaku, shiabara. So that's 3 kanji, shi and the ya, the kanji for ya or evening, and the bara, hara. Remember, if you are compounding kanji, most likely the right part of the compounding, the effect is you have to transform the kunyomi in its dakten or handakten form. But oftentimes, so the question is, how will I transform it? Will it be dakten or handakten? The answer is oftentimes or many times, the transformation is from the ordinary form to dakten. So the hara becomes bara. So just like this one, Shiya bara, Akiha bara, Akiha hara. So the third character is hara. So it now becomes bara because the hara will be subjected to dakten form. The hara now is bara. Just like in Tokyo, Chiyoda district, Akihabara, Aki, first kanji, Aki, autumn, Akiha. The ha is the leaf. The hara or origin kanji, hara now becomes bara, just like in this one. Just like in this one, Shiya bara. You don't say Shiya hara, but the effect of kanji compounding is that most likely the second and or the third character will be read in its dakten form. So it's not Shiya hara, it's Shiya bara. Okay, so please screenshot these other names. So we're running out of time. So okay, show other names. Okay, please screenshot also these names. Okay. Okay, jikan ga nai. Minasan, jikan ga nai. Okay. Kyo kokomade desu. So that's as far as we go. In the next lesson, we will be dealing with today we have discussed kanji sequence 3, sequence 4, the sun or 3, and the yon, just the 4. In the next lesson, we will discuss the kanji sequence number 5, sequence number 6. So we are again on the elementary grade level, grade 1 of the Shogaku in Japan. So kyo kokomade desu. Minasan go shichou kudasari arigatou gozaimashita. Mata. So thank you for listening until the end, and please don't forget to press that like button, press subscribe, and click the bell notification, and please share it to your friends. This is free. Okay, mata minasan. Jane, bye bye. Mata.